got a tornado watch on my phone, which is weird. We don't really get tornadoes here, but it's okay. I think I can outrun it. I'm just kidding. Maybe, I don't know. What's up, everybody? Hope everyone is doing great. Today I'm going to be installing some pretty interesting upgrades on the 700. I'm going to be taking this to a proper motocross track, I think next week. And from the way I ride and from my experience, I feel like the handlebars do sit quite a bit too low. And I'm always leaning pretty low, and it's kind of getting to me over time. I think if I have maybe +2 or +1.5 of height, I think I would feel much better and much more confident, and I'd feel safer standing up with a little bit of extra, height from here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this Turner ATV race spec handlebar along with this beautiful chromoly steering stem, and this is by Rock. And it comes with the Rock anti-vibe clamp as well. I'm going to be installing some nice red thumb throttle grips, as it is a thumb throttle setup. Also, I do have extended brake lines on here, but I'm going to install these lovely stainless steel ones, the stainless braided ones. And this is just a light bulb change because my left light bulb is out. So anyways, I'm going to start disassembling the top part of the bike so I can get the steering stem into that. I think it's going to look beautiful because you know how when it's not chromoly, it's kind of faded, but chromoly usually tends to be a bit shiny. So I hope it maintains its shine after a while. And yeah, I think it's just going to look menacing with the, I chose the red handlebar and the red grips. So let's see how she'll look when I'm done. I'm also going to have to probably do a alignment again, because disassembling the steering stem, I have to disassemble as well the joints that hook up to the ball joints of the tie rods. So yeah, anyways, let's get started. All right, so this is where we are. Fast forward. I've installed the steering stem. The seals here were perfect. I could reuse them. It's quite easy to get the bumpers disassembled and the body panels and all that. As if you watch some of my previous videos, it's really easy to access this stuff. It's just a couple of bolts, and 4 bolts hold the fuel tank. You do need to remove it. I don't disconnect anything. I just twist it to the side so I can access these screws here, these bolts. And yeah, so the steering stem went in pretty flawlessly. I just had to disassemble the Precision Racing dampener, and it's just held by a bolt and a washer here. I still need to torque it, but yeah, the teeth went in there pretty accurately. I thought I was gonna need to do a steering alignment. I still am gonna need to, just to be 100% sure that I have a dead center steering. But yeah, it actually looks pretty even, so I'm even gonna drive it before I do the alignment, just to see if I did a pretty good job, and it seems to be so. But yeah, anyways, the chromoly, it's still pretty dirty from all the grease and stuff. The chromoly steering stem is here. The anti-vibration clamps are here. These don't really have a rule book on how hard or how much torque you should tighten them. You can really play with these as much as you feel is necessary for you, whether you're trail riding, whether you're on an MX track. I do like bars. Most bars, they tell you how many degrees are on them, because for motocross, you want to go a bit more aggressive to the front, and if you're just going to trail ride and be more comfortable sitting down and popping wheelies and stuff like that, you might want to bring it back a little bit. But yeah, I have it to where I think I got on the bike to where I think I'd like it. One thing you will run into while doing this on the Raptor, it's not as straightforward as, let's say, something as a Banshee. The clutch lever here is not long enough, because this does give you a +2, I believe, overall. Says 175, but I think it's +2. So with this clutch, and this is the OEM clutch line, and it's all the way out from here, it doesn't really fit here. So I think I'm not gonna need to change the line. I think I'm just gonna need to reroute it because it goes all the way to the front and then up. And there is quite a big gap here. I don't know if you see it, but there's quite a big gap here. And I think this is the answer to not having that over here placed correctly. So I'm gonna try and figure this out. Definitely need to reroute it. The tank is not, you know, set up yet properly. It's not bolted on. So I just need to figure that out. Other than that, the Chromoly throttle fits perfectly here. Everything is good. It's not tightened up yet. It's not torqued. I just want to make sure everything is great with fitment. Next step I want to do is also I want to install the extended brake lines, because even though these are extended, this part here is OEM. So with the OEM brake line here, it doesn't really get to a comfortable position. So yeah, let's see how we progress here. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. Anyways, but it's still a pretty easy process. If you want to do this, if you want to get an extended steering stem for the Raptor, I do think it's worth it, because even with a stabilizer, I do feel some fatigue. The steering on the Raptor is not really made for motocross. It's not really made for consistent, hardcore, you know, flat out driving. You are meant to sit down every now and then, but when it's really bumpy, you can't really sit down on these things. So in general, I think all ATVs have such a low steering bar setup. I think they could all benefit with like a plus 1.75 or 2, even more, 2.5. I know some of them might look funny with the steering too high, but trust me, when you're standing up, when you're on it flat out, it does make a difference. And I do it to every single quad I own. I've done it to the Banshee right here. It's just, it does make a difference when you're jumping, when you're bouncing on like whoops and stuff. It helps. And I really want to make this Raptor a very capable motocross bike. I want to be able to take it to a motocross or supercross track even, and drive and have a good time and not be scared that I'm going to injure myself, and not be uncomfortable all the time, because you take them out there, you want to spend the whole day, you want to have a good time. So, and you want to be safe, number one, most of all. So yeah, I want to try and make this as fun and as safe as can be. Yeah, so let's continue from here. Okay, so there's the final look. And I really like the colors of the bar. I had this Yamaha piece lying around, the GYTR, so I decided to put it on here. Looks great. One thing you will need to do is definitely rewire the key ignition switch. So I know a lot of people opt to put it here in the plastic, or sometimes they do like a tie here or something like that. Anyways, I didn't want to mess up my plastic, so I just decided to lock it right here, and it looks pretty OEM actually. And when you're driving, you can see the Yamaha label and all that. So, and it doesn't impede or intrude the fuel tank. So yeah, it's great. Worked out wonderful. The bar is a bit too wobbly. I think I'm gonna need to tighten these clamps a little bit. Luckily, I brought my wrench with me because I had a feeling that I was gonna need to do something or make an adjustment. I'm very happy with the angle of the bar. It feels pretty good, and yeah, I'm just testing it out, you know, on these open trails right now. Hopefully on an MX track or something it'll be a lot more capable, but here, yeah, I do feel the bike being a little bit stiff, which is only a couple of clicks away from where I want to be, so it's not a big deal. I'll happily ride it at this setting the whole time. And definitely, guys, steering stabilizer, you know, that is the main word I like to use recently, because ever since I've adopted a steering stabilizer in this machine, bumps and weird angles and things like that seem to be butter. Normally I'd be very concerned about my wrist. You still have to be pretty concerned, you still have to be pretty careful, because a steering stabilizer is going to do its best to absorb, but if you hit something in like a really awkward position, it can still upset the bike and kind of shock you. So, but still, the setting, the stabilizer, I think it really does make me feel a lot faster than I would be going without the stabilizer. So I'm very happy, and I think I'm gonna install it, like I said before, probably on all my machines, all quads. If you have a quad and you're going to be riding it hard, even 50%, 60% hard where it's going to be, I would definitely invest in a steering stabilizer. Again, I'm not paid by them or anything. I'm not paid by any brand of stabilizer. I just really do think this will save some wrists out there, 100%. And like the guys actually at this company told me, they're like, yeah, steering stabilizers are very expensive, but definitely a trip to the hospital is going to be like God knows how many stabilizers. So even with insurance and stuff like that. So definitely, and your health is more important. So take care of it. Get a stabilizer on your quad. Yeah, I'm not sure of the look, the height wise, but it looks good to me. Seems pretty fair. I like the comfort of riding like this. Really does make a difference. Only thing, like I said, I'm gonna just have to make some little adjustments and go from there. But yeah, so far so good. And yeah, let's continue. So I took out my trusty wrench, and now just gonna tighten it tiny bit here. All right. Okay, so I really like the ODI handlebars, the handlebar grips, and the Turner handlebars. Turner handlebars, they have a lot less angle bent towards me, which is great, kind of more like a dirt bike. Hands are more comfortable, you're holding them like this as opposed to this. So for the wrist, I feel like it's much better. I do have some wrist pain here, but that's from odd landing jumps and stuff from before, even before the stabilizer. So sometimes I feel it kind of sting here, but honestly these larger ODI kind of like bubbly rubber here really makes a difference. I was told by a lot of people to go with ODI grips, and these are also lock-on, so you don't need to use glue or anything, and they're the one-sided lock-on because some of them come with both sides. All you have to do is just take an Allen wrench, lock it on, and you're good to go. So yeah, I really like them, very comfortable. They do tend to absorb a little bit of the bumps, including the anti-vibe clamp, but I will say the anti-vibe clamp I have tightened very tight, so I don't really know how much, you know, vibration absorption it takes. I'm really depending, honestly, on the steering stabilizer more than anything. I'm not really depending on anything else. That's really what's soaking up the majority of the bumps. But all in all, I love these raised handlebars. The feel of the raised handlebars is awesome. Not so much when I sit down. It's actually not super comfortable when I sit down because I have the bars bent a bit forward. But when you're standing up in the attack position and you're leaning a bit forward, it is absolutely a dream. I love this. Any of you guys, I know you might criticize the look of the handlebars sitting too high, like when I get off the bike, and I get it, trust me, I get it. Looking at the bike like this, it does kind of, it's too high. It should be a bit lower for aesthetics, that's what I believe. But for pure comfort and rideability, man, this makes a huge difference, and I would recommend it to anybody. Now I kind of get why the people that ride like motocross and stuff like that have the raised handlebars, and they use like more advanced handlebars like the flex bars, and they have specific really high-tech anti-vibe clamps because they're jumping ridiculous heights. But yeah, for me, for my modest level, this is just fantastic, and I really can't wait to see this perform on a motocross track with actual professionals, not just on quad bikes, but professionals on dirt bikes as well. They're going to be there, so it's going to be interesting to see. But for now, just going to enjoy whatever trails we have left here. We used to have a lot. Now obviously they're building houses over there, so I have to keep going further and further and further. I feel like eventually where I live, I'm not going to be able to ride anymore in this area, so I'm going to be very limited to taking this to trails or tracks, and that can be a hassle sometimes. But when you live next to an area, it's a lot easier to access, and I actually prefer that. Even if the terrain isn't very friendly, like you can see over there, those metal rods sticking out of the ground, all of these are like really serious hazards, but just the accessibility and the ease of use for me is what I love about this, you know, sport. And yeah, so let's get to it and we'll see how this thing behaves with the new setup. I got a tornado watch on my phone, which is weird. We don't really get tornadoes here, but it's okay. I think I can outrun it. I'm just kidding. Maybe, I don't know. Not done yet. Tornado or not. Oh man, it's been a while. Very nice. Beautiful day. Actually, the rain is is cooling me down, which is nice. I freaking love the Raptor, man. You can do whatever you want with it. You can take it to places like this, take it to a track, widen it, put the big 3 on it. Perfect ATV, perfect quad. We say ATVs in Europe. I know in the US we say quads, but yeah, same shit to me. And the rain is picking up. That was the 3rd gear drift because of the rain. Okay, let's go down some gears. Because of the rain, it's so slippery now. So soupy. I love this. Holy crap. Yep. I am drenched. Okay, time to go.